Hi everybody, and welcome to Counting to 100 in 100 Languages. I'm a little weak today, so I'm joining you guys from the bed. But I got my pretty flower here keeping me company, and I got what my friend calls my hippie light. I don't know, I just thought I would try to make the scenery look a little bit better. I hope you guys like it. Today we're going to be counting to 100 in Portuguese, specifically Brazilian Portuguese. I will be counting in Brazilian Portuguese because I don't know a lot of Portuguese people. I know a lot of Brazilians, so I'm a little more familiar with the sound of Brazilian Portuguese. However, I will be doing another video where I will be counting to 100 in the Portuguese dialect. Now it won't count as an actual language because I think that would be dishonest. It would just be an addition to my Portuguese video, my current Portuguese video. Alright, so before we get counting, I want to do a little bit of background and a little bit of the history of the Portuguese language, because I think we should always know a little bit about the language we're trying to learn. So, Portuguese is the official language of Brazil, Cabo Verde, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, Angola, and São Tomé and Príncipe. I believe Príncipe is an island off of West Africa. It is spoken by 250 million native speakers and 250 million speakers in total. It is an Indo European language, obviously a Latin language. Its closest relative is Galician, although a lot of linguists actually consider that just a different dialect of Portuguese. Galician is spoken by a community in the northwestern part of Spain. It used to be the same language as Portuguese, and as we get into the history of it a little bit, you guys will understand that a little bit better. Now, the Portuguese language came about in the Western Iberian Peninsula by Roman soldiers. They colonized in 216 BC, bringing about Latin. Now, the language transformed from Latin into Proto-Portuguese during the fall of the Roman Empire and their Germanic invasions in the 5th century, which is the early Middle Ages. This left Roman schools closed with no standardized language, breaking down the uniformity of the language, causing vulgar Latin to change and evolve. It appeared in writing in the 9th century. It appeared in writing in the 9th century. And now we're going to talk a little bit about two important periods of the Portuguese language. From the 9th century to the 12th century, I believe linguists call that the until the 12th century AD is what we consider Proto-Portuguese. Now, between the 12th and the 14th century Portuguese, we consider that the first part of the Old Portuguese, or what we also call Galician Portuguese. So Old Portuguese and Galician Portuguese are the same thing. And that period marks the separation of the Galician language or dialect from the Portuguese language. Or as you saw in the beginning, some people don't even consider those different languages. So it's either the separation of the dialects or the separation of the languages. And this was caused due to political separation of Portugal and Galicia. Now, going back a little bit in time, Portugal got its independence in 1139 AD under King Alfonso I. Yeah. Anyway, so that was the first period or first part of Galician Portuguese or Old Portuguese. Now we're going to move on to the second part, which is, or the second period, which is between 15th and 16th century, which is the period between the 15th and the 16th century. And that is marked by the Portuguese discoveries and the expansion of the Portuguese Empire into Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Now, the modern Portuguese that we speak now is developed in the early 16th century to the present, obviously. Now, we're just going to go over a little bit about loan words for Portuguese and like which where some other words were adopted from other languages. Going back in time, in 1711, the Moorish invasion added some Arabic words to the language. There's also an influx of French and British words, as well as African and Amerind words. Now, the African and Amerind words were added due to the slave trade. Amerind words, Amerind means the language of the indigenous people of Brazil. Yeah, so that's about it for my history lesson there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, I did want to go over a little bit on when the first grammar book was written. So in 1536, Fernão de Oliveira published a grammar book for Portuguese. That's kind of important because they didn't have grammar for the language before that. Alright, so I think that's it. I will try to have everything printed on the screen so there's no confusion. And let's get counting. Alright, so I will proceed to count from 1 to 10, and then I'll go from there. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so that was 10. I'm going to go now from 11 to 20. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. Alright, so 20 is 20. Now it's very easy to form compound numbers because all you have to do is say the tens of the number. Like once you get to 20, you just say the tens of the number, and then you say the word and, which is e in Portuguese, and you say the single digit. Okay, so now we're at 20, which is 20. Now before, when I made this video, I was making I was going through the compound numbers, and I was kind of saying the tens of the number and the word and, which is e in Portuguese, and then the singular digit. I was kind of saying it separately, but really what they do in Portuguese is they kind of blend everything together. So even though the and is there, like the e, like is spelled in there, which is and, you kind of want to merge all the numbers together. So you would say 21, 22, which is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and so 30 is 30. Now we're going to go with the compound numbers of 30, which is 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40 is 40. 40. Now the compound numbers of 40 go like this, just like we did before: 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50 is 50. 50. Now it's the same thing, so I'm not going to say every number. I'm going to go 51, 52, and then up to 59. 51, 52, and 59, 59, and 60 is 60, 60. And again, we're gonna go 61, 62, 63, and 69 is 69. Now 70 is 70, 70. Then we're gonna go 61, 62, 63, 74, and all the way up to 79 with 79. 80 is 80, 80. And we're gonna go 81, 82, all the way up to 89, 89, 89. And 90 is 90, 90. And we're gonna go 91, 92, all the way up to 99, which is 99. And 100 is same, same. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope my pronunciation was okay. Yeah, I will later on do a Portuguese video with the dialect from Portuguese later on, because this was the Brazilian dialect and they say the numbers just a bit differently. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and God bless.